Well, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to a brand new day. A brand new day wherein I have started doing it. I changed my little whiteboard thing here. It took a lot of work. I had to use a lot of rubbing alcohol and elbow grease to get it clean. But I did it, and so that changed. Yay! And I have started work here. The stuff is off here. I'm moving it. I've been dusting this area, so it's on the way. I'm going to be making them different so that they're cleaner, tidier, and just different stuff. So that's good. I mean, it's hard for me to do things, but I do what I can, and that's a good thing there. Yay! So I'm starting to at least push through things. I called up this place yesterday. I got my prescription renewed for my Ritalin. It's a whole big problem going on with that because I have to call every month now instead of, getting it done via my appointment. So yay. Anyway, though, hey, YouTube algorithms, front-loading of videos, if you could toss me a like, that would be cool. Appreciate that. If you could subscribe to the channel, if you haven't, that would be a thumbs up as well. I enjoy all sorts of comments. I read every one. I thumbs up the ones I do. I try to answer as many as my executive dysfunction will allow. Thumbs up on that. And I do wish to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These beautiful and awesome people literally help to keep me alive, and I am deeply, deeply appreciative of that. It is a good thing. I can't remember how long my hands were in the air, so hopefully they're up long enough, but these beautiful and awesome people helped me out, and it is good. My pets are alive. I'm alive. It is definitely a good thing. Thank you, each and every one of you. Yay! I am tired. My sincere apologies. I've slept moderately well, but I still had some issues, especially toward the end of the day. Yay. And then I fell asleep for a short period here in my chair again yesterday around noon, and so that knocked me off balance for a while. It's joyous that way, but still, I survived, and that's good. I went out on walkies, as I do, and it was cold, and it got foggy, cloudy again. Started off as a clear night, and then it wasn't halfway through, but it was still really, really good. And of course, I can always tell when I'm really deeply into something creatively because I'll forget where and how I've gone traveling through town. Because I walk from, there's Southern Shelton, downtown Shelton, and then there's a Safeway that I go to, but I come from Southern Shelton into downtown Shelton, and then switching from a side view to a top view, I come walking around, and then I do a big curly Q, and then come back to Safeway. So I spin around in this area twice so that I can get a large enough distance walked. Quite frequently, if I am deep in thought, I forget which point I am on the loop. I'll have done a full loop, be coming into Safeway, and I'm like, do I have to go again? Did I go again? Is this the first time? Is this the second time? I don't know. And then I'll have to stop and take a lot of time to try and figure out, okay, I did this. Okay, I've already done that. Because it was just gone. Autopilot of the body, thumbs up for that. But I'm surviving, and that's good. I'm eating. Little Ghost was running around this morning, and he is still doing well. He is a middle-aged rodent. He's not a baby anymore, but he's not an old man either. So he's still hanging in there, and he should be hanging in for quite some time. But when he hears me and I'm making noise, he comes over here to be picked up, and I pick him up, and he runs around all over me, and then I'll put him in safe areas for free roaming so he can just sniff around and dig in through things for a time. It's a very, very good thing. And Amelia is... Amelia, she's a kitty cat. Sometimes she sits in my lap and sleeps. Sometimes she's just over there like she is right now, just on the floor. She's eating, not wonderfully, but better than she had been. So that's a good thing. She's doing well. Definitely a thumbs up. And as we can see, I've got the little plushie here, and then this statue I've kept there. It was one of 1,800 made. DC Comics back in the 90s with their vertical line for the Sandman by Neil Gaiman that they're making a movie of. I bought one of the statues, and so even though I've put everything else away, that's like just, plaster, painted plaster, and it's already got a chunk missing out of it. So I got it here because I don't really have any place safe to put it at the moment. So, yay. But still, working on that, and that's a good thing. Alrighty. That's the way my life has been. Not really special, not really awful. I mean, it is awful. And I'm trying desperately to do things so I don't become homeless. And of course, I've got $100 to pay for my post office box by the end of the month, and I don't have the $100 to pay for my post office box. So if anyone out there can help me with donations to like my PayPal, and I can pay for my post office box, then that would be cool. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to close it after 5, 6, 7 years of having it. So if people can help me out, that would be awesome. But you know, it's going away at the end of the month. Otherwise, joy. I mean, life is life. Things change. Yay. And then yesterday, I had talked a bit about the idea I'd had for a new character, and I quickly ran through some of the stuff that I had thought about the previous night. But it was only after I did the video that I started really deeper thinking about it. Because while I'd had the idea of what the character was going through, I hadn't really deeply thought that out. Because while I was on Walkies, I just wanted to come up with a new character for the Razor's Edge inside-outside setting. And so I can't remember if I came up with a name or just the idea of what was happening first, but eventually it turned into this AI in a robot body that is the character, Iron John. The thing is, now I've got the full backstory, and I'm going to talk about that because I enjoy being creative, and having come up with this, I want to share my joy at having created, and I'm hoping that I can use the character in future works. And once again, there's full books that can be done just on the character, but we shall see. The main idea was, there was this group of people on this layer, a civilization, and they had an outer factory that was some distance out because, you know, you have to expand, and so they expanded outward. Their technology was pretty advanced. I mean, they were creating artificial intelligence, robots as citizens, and the people that knew how to do that were being very, very responsible. They weren't just pumping out a permanent, you know, underclass. They were creating actual citizens, people. And eventually, by the point of this story, it was about a 50-50 split of people and robots. And on the inside, everybody is more social. You have to be. If you're not social, if you don't stick together and work with people and help people, you're not going to survive. And then your kids aren't going to live because you won't have any, because you got eaten because you weren't social enough, and those people that were social have future generations. So life is much, much, much more social on the inside. People work together a lot. There's animosities and tribalness, but largely the tribal part of it is, you know, are you a part of our community? Are you a part of the community? Because if you're not a part of the community is not going to be a part of you. But there's about a 50-50 split. So at this industrial plant, one of the people is the robot, John. Their generation that had been created, and every generation is different in that they've come up with different looks, but each generation within those models of that generation, they are roughly identical. So each generation has a different look so that you can tell generations apart. There is no real differentiation between things like gender. These robots are asexual. Except there's about 10% that do identify with the gender. They feel male, or they feel female, or they feel other. And even though there is no physical way to tell by looking, they can look, and in a room of those that are just there, all identical, they can go, okay, that's a guy, that's a gal, that's, you know, and they just identify. They know John is male, feels male. Works their way up through the ranks, becoming, you know, floor shop person and then general manager of the entire shop, good with working with their hands. They enjoy that. They enjoy working, find out they have a penchant for middle management. After becoming the general manager of the shop, they are then promoted upward into a middle management. They show that they have skill at that and are so good at it that yes, they become the shop manager and general manager all in one. And upon their promotion, that is when they self-identify and change to Iron John to show their pleasure and how much they feel the responsibility of their promotion, what they are responsible for. There are a lot of energies in the razor's edge, especially. A static charge builds up between the inside and the outside, and this discharges. It does not always discharge in a certain way. Just like existential horror, just like cosmic horror, things happen because they happen quite frequently. There are beings, objects, locations, and situations that can occur where things happen. And in this particular situation, where the factory was, what was going on with the factory, Iron John themselves, the situation, the location began funneling a huge amount of energy inward, and it was being funneled into Iron John. It reached a certain point, and like a binary switch, unfortunately, that's what doomed everybody else. Their technology of communication and travel required use of the glamours. You cannot stop the glamours. The glamours are a part of reality. Your ability to interact with glamours, well, that's a different thing entirely, because that's you. And you can be messed with. Reality, not so much. Your ability to interact with it, oh yeah. And once it hit a certain pivot point, everything that required the use of glamours, gone. There was no way for them to communicate with their home. They didn't know what was happening. They were just suddenly abandoned. There was no way to leave. Their transportation couldn't take them anywhere. It required the glamours. They could not leave personally. You could stay on that layer where the factory is and go outward, but you could never leave because they couldn't interact with the glamours to leave the layer. And eventually all the humans died of old age or being eaten. You know, you're on the inside, it's dangerous. And eventually all of the robots fell apart and died, leaving just Iron John with their new, for them, when they were promoted, they had their neural electronics reseated into this new keratoferrous alloy polymer, a KFAP, a material I've made up, body. And they are watching everything fall apart and their body is surviving because the KFAP material can last hundreds of thousands of years before it begins to fall apart. And so they set their machines to radio for help and to wake them up when help signals are received, and they set their own self to wake up if things happen, and then they go into low power mode. And when they wake up, they can't believe or understand it because their internal clock, a radioactive clock, shows 1.4 million years have passed. No help has been sent. What used to be a savanna is now a jungle. The KFAP material that was all around them it lasted for a very long time. There's very, very few, relative to the rest of the layer, invasions of plant life and trees, but the factory is just nothing. The walls are broken and fallen. The roofs are pierced with trees. Everything has fallen apart. That shows 1.4 million years have passed. And so they do have to come to terms with this, and they eventually do. And they come out and they deal and they talk with people, and they have a sound in their chest. It's not a broken part of their body. They're not in any danger of failing to function. But if they think about the past and what's lost and how it's gone, there's a thump, 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 and it hurts. they just hurt. Their chest hurts for what's lost. But eventually, they reach a point where you'll be standing and you'll hear that from them, and they'll lift up their hand as it goes thump, thump, thump. And then they put it back down after a moment. They were thinking of the past. They remembered. But as I like to have characters who would not normally say things, Iron John would explain it this way. Yes, that hurts. It is painful to remember. And that sound is just their physical body reflecting their mental pain. But it hurts because they remember. And because of that, it's a welcome pain. Because as long as it hurts, that shows that they still remember. It's when it no longer hurts. That's when everything is gone. No connection to anything that they used to have, their life, their loves, everything. That last connection will finally be gone when it no longer hurts. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments. Oh, I got an itchy spot here. I'm sure I got a whisker that's been poking up against my nose. Sorry about that. 24 hours worth of comments. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments. It's not many, but as long as it's more than 0, thank you each and every one of you. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. I am an American English speaker, and even though I can American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand, my memory getting better all the time, but still. We have Jocelyn Williams, thumbs up and thank you, and I sure hope that this little bit here that I talked about today tells a little bit more. Confused Owl 29, and nope, but I will soon. And Schwooty Boot. I really like the name, but thank you very, very much. There is MENDRC2, thumbs up and thank you greatly. And there's Not Kuro. I personally wouldn't advocate for exploding violently myself either. And SIEBE, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. Favel, hopefully we'll be in contact on Facebook maybe. And then Ben B, thumbs up and thank you, very, very cool, good to see you. I still don't know how to pronounce it properly, YOGESHWARAN, thumbs up, thank you, and I'm glad that my videos help, a definite good thing. We have Davo, thumbs up and thank you, and Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. 11 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours, greatly appreciated. Oh, my nose itches again. This time it was my actual nose, not just like my upper lip. Feels like I inhaled cat hair. Thumbs up for that. And of course, I can't remember exactly where I was, but in fact, I've lost my mind entirely. I don't know what device you're watching this on, so I don't know where the show more for the video is, or if you can even access it. But inside, I have links to all of my channels, if you could check that out. I also have links to my Twitter, my Facebook, my Patreon. And again, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are literal, beautiful, and awesome people, and that is, in fact, beautiful and awesome. Greatly appreciated, each and every one of these people. I have no ideas how long I should be holding my hand up today. So hopefully I'm not leaving them up too long or too short. Thank you each and every one of you for putting up with me. It is appreciated as well. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I do have a PayPal link down below, especially if you can help me keep my post office box open. But if you can't, I do understand. Because, well, first, of course, I want to mention the Amazon wishlist link, which has cat food on it. But if you cannot or simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. And if you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence, a definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be cool. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Well, holy smokes. Hopefully I can get the calls made that I need for like a couple of health issues. I gotta check on my kidneys. Oh boy, I'm hoping I don't have like kidney cancer. I gotta check on a skin condition. I hope I don't have any melanoma or skin cancers going on, so yay there. Past that, I think I'm okay. Aside from, of course, the creases showing up in my earlobe, so I need to get my heart checked on too. Yay. Still though, I'm gonna do what I can. hopefully you will do what you can. And with the covfefe bug still raging, please, if you don't have to go out amongst the unmasked, unvaxxed, mouth-breathing plague rats, please don't. But if you do, maintain your social distancing, wear a mask, wash your hands often, try not to touch your face. Get vaxxed if you haven't been. Get a booster if you can. Don't become a statistic. We are live for such a short time and then dead forever. Don't check out early. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and quite frankly, I think that's a very good idea.